Here we are, guys, in part 35 of this story. In the land of waves, our favorite blonde encounters the QB. Watch the subsequent events unfold as Naruto uses the power that was sealed inside of him on the day of his birth. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. Whoa, gasped Naruto as he and Jiraiya emerged from the surrounding forests. As it stood, Naruto and Jiraiya were now looking across a marvelous, arched, wooden bridge spanning across a large, calm, and blue pond. The bridge led to a staircase climbing up towards a traditional-style building that looked as if it were built into the mountains. Throughout the cliff face, numerous other buildings emerged from the stone and various other bridges and walkways connected them. "Yeah, I know. I said the same thing when your dad first brought me here," said Jiraiya. "What is this place?" asked Naruto. "It's an ancient shinobi fortress, from before the founding of the hidden villages," explained Jiraiya. "Who it belonged to, I'm not sure, but your dad found it and made it his." Jiraiya stepped forth towards the bridge, however his advance was met by an invisible barrier. He littered this place with seals, making sure no one would interrupt his training. "This is where your father worked on some of the more dangerous jutsus he knew, ones that aren't appropriate for practicing within Konoha or ones he didn't want anyone seeing. Kind of like what you're looking to do. This barrier can only be unlocked by blood. I believe the seal is over here." Jiraiya led Naruto to a pillar where Naruto made a quick slice across his hand to spill some blood onto the seal. The seal momentarily flashed before a hole in the barrier appeared for Naruto and Jiraiya to enter. As they entered the barrier, it closed behind them, sealing the training grounds. "Who else can get in here?" asked Naruto. Minato tuned the blood seals to accept him or his descendants, myself, Sensei, and Kushina. "That's it," said Jiraiya. Also, he would normally use the Hiraishin to teleport in here. "Heiro Sennin, do you think you could teach me that jutsu?" "My dad's Hiraishin?" asked Naruto. "I'm sorry, but your dad was the only one who knew how it worked. He was very protective of it as well. I can't teach it to you because I don't know where he put any notes or instructions on the jutsu," said Jiraiya. "Do you think he could have hid it in here?" asked Naruto. "No. He was too protective of that jutsu. This place might have been secure, but it wasn't secure enough for him," said Jiraiya. "The only place Minato trusted enough to stash the jutsu was on himself. He did teach 3 others to use the jutsu, his personal guard, but they only understand it enough to the point where they can use it only in conjunction with each other. He only taught them the essentials of the jutsu, nowhere near enough to teach someone." "I see," said a depressed Naruto. If there was any jutsu Naruto was looking forward to, it was that one, the one that his dad was known for. However, with his dad being the only one who knew where the jutsu was, and the Yondaime Hokage having passed away years ago, the jutsu could very well be lost to time. "Don't worry about it, Naruto," said Jiraiya, placing a hand on his godson's shoulder. "I've got a feeling Minato wouldn't have let it just vanish. I know he did something with it and I know he intended for you to find it. I can't think of anyone else besides you who he'd want to pass on that jutsu to." That served the purpose of cheering Naruto up. "Right. So where am I supposed to train?" asked Naruto. "Within the mountain, there are numerous caverns that he used. Those caverns are all reinforced with seals your father installed when he first began training here. They're meant to prevent damage to the wall. Even I tested them out against my Seen Jutsu and I didn't make a dent," said Jiraiya. Entering the first building, the Toad Sage and his apprentice entered what appeared to be a typical, if not a little bare, and large foyer that led into a large chamber. To the sides of the chamber, Naruto could see a few separate rooms, most likely used for some sort of living quarters. Jiraiya placed his hand against a seal on the wall and a matrix illuminated on the ceiling to provide light to the structure. "This is really just a place to live and sleep. The training chambers are this way," said Jiraiya as he led Naruto into a hall opposite the entrance and one that seemed to venture into the mountain. Stepping into the first room, Jiraiya touched his hand against the wall and activated one of the seals against the wall, lighting the area with chakra-powered fluorescent seals. As Naruto looked through the chamber, it was a large open room with a wooden floor and numerous giant gears lining the wall. "This I believe is where he did most of his close combat training," said Jiraiya. "How? There's nothing in this room," said Naruto. "Here," said Jiraiya, pointing to another seal matrix along the side of the wall. As he channeled chakra into one of the seals, a number of what appeared to be wooden training dummies appeared throughout the room. "So he practiced against a bunch of stationary dummies? That doesn't sound too hard," said Naruto. Jiraiya of course laughed before channeling chakra into another seal. All of the sudden, the dummies rushed Naruto and struck at him with numerous hidden limbs. Acting quickly, Naruto unsheathed his sword and began hacking away at the dummies before Jiraiya decided to deactivate them. Your father spent a lot of time getting these puppet seals right. The seal matrix that controls them is over on this wall. You can summon roughly 1,000 of these things at once and try to fight them all off, said Jiraiya. Wow. Really? How many was my dad able to beat? Asked Naruto. Hey, he was able to reach 1,000. He had thought about increasing the size of the summoning seals, but never got around to it, said Jiraiya. Come on, the next room is this way. Jiraiya led Naruto to a hole in the gears and they once again stepped into another dark cavern. However, the sound of rushing water could tell Naruto that there was a subterranean river flowing nearby. Jiraiya activated another illumination seal and Naruto saw the source of the noise. They were now standing in a massive open cavern with a stream that split the first third and last two-thirds of the cavern. The river entered the cavern from a small waterfall pouring into the river on the right and flowed across the cavern where it disappeared into a tunnel on the left. Next to the tunnel where the river disappeared, was what appeared to be another passageway. This is where your father did a lot of his jutsu development. Really, it's just a large open space that gave him plenty of room to work with, said Jiraiya. However, I don't think this room will hold up to the prospect of you doing target practice with Baijudama. I do think the next one will though. Jiraiya led Naruto into the next room, through that one that was near the exit of the river. After descending through a tunnel for a little, Naruto's eyes widened as he gazed out upon a vast subterranean lake. Jiraiya activated the illumination seals, but instead of being placed on the ceiling and walls, they had been placed at the bottom of the lake, lighting the water up in a vibrant glow. The water was crystal clear and Naruto could actually make out the seals beneath the surface of the water. Coincidentally, the seals were arranged in the symbol of Konoha, allowing the leaf to shine up from the bottom of the lake. Whoa, gasped Naruto. I know. Pretty impressive, isn't it? Smiled Jiraiya. This room would work better for your more destructive jutsus. Just fire them into the lake and the water will dissipate the energy, said Jiraiya. Honestly, that's about it for in here. There is a passageway back near the entrance that leads to the top of the mountain, which is actually relatively flat and forested. Minato would also train up there quite a bit. I don't know how he found this place, but it should suit your needs perfectly. Consider it the first part of your inheritance. Now, what's this about completing the Rasengan? I thought you already did that? Asked Jiraiya. Yeah. I thought so too, until I tried to use my futon, Rasengan in Sage mode, said Naruto. Show me, asked Jiraiya. Nodding, Naruto sat down and began collecting natural energy. By this point in time, Naruto had been practicing on entering Saga mode quicker and while it still took 30 seconds to gather enough energy, it was a definite improvement from before. Naruto formed the Rasen Shuriken in his hands and Jiraiya's jaw practically hit the floor at his apprentice's development. Naruto threw the Rasen Shuriken towards the middle of the lake, the giant wind shuriken exploding in the middle of the lake. Said the speechless Toad Sage. Now you see, Uro-Sennin, it's not complete, said Naruto. In fact, it's nowhere near complete. What do you mean? I'd say that's pretty complete to me, said Jiraiya. Naruto just shook his head. I don't know. Maybe that's as far as I can go with it, maybe not. I thought the futon, Rasengan was the furthest I could take it, but after seeing what it did in Sage mode, I won't be surprised if the Rasengan can be taken even further than that, said Naruto. And besides, that's only with wind. What about the other elements? Jiraiya sighed. I know what you're thinking. Minato and myself were even thinking the same thing. Hell, Kakashi knows the Rasengan and has tried to add the lightning element to it. Where do you think he got his Chidori from? What? Kakashi-sensei got Chidori from the Rasengan? Asked Naruto. A failed attempt at adding lightning chakra to it at least, said Jiraiya. I'll say this and I've said it before. I couldn't believe how proud of you I was when you made the futon, Rasengan. Anyways, I'll say this. No one person is going to be able to fully complete the Rasengan. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. Think about it, said Jiraiya. An elemental Rasengan requires full mastery of an element to even have a chance at developing it. And based on your development of the wind element Rasengan, there is also a little trick too. Getting it to work. No ninja has ever mastered all 5 elements, with the exception of the Rikudo Sennin himself, and I doubt any ninja ever will. Even training with shadow clones, you'll never master more than 2. maybe 3 if you really push yourself. Well, I've got wind mastered, so that's one element, said Naruto. Jiraiya simply shook his head. Your skill with the wind element is probably the most advanced I've seen since your dad, but it's nowhere near true mastery. You said, you can't use the Rasen Shuriken without Sage Mode? Well, that's why. Your skill at wind manipulation may have been sufficient to make the Futon, Rasengan, but it's nowhere near enough for something like that without the aid of natural energy. So what do I need to do then? Asked Naruto. Do you know of anyone who has ever truly mastered an element? I know of a few, but the one that comes to mind is the Nidaime Hokage and his mastery over the water element, said Jiraiya. Now that I think of it, I know what you can do that I think would make it so you had mastery over your wind element. Really? Tell me, exclaimed Naruto. Well, one thing the Nidaime could do was performing water jutsus while only making a single hand seal, said Jiraiya. When you really think about it, that's all the hand seals are there for, is to aid in the molding of chakra. However, it is entirely possible to perform a jutsu with nothing more than a single hand seal. In fact, he could do some jutsus without any hand seals at all. Really? But I can already do a jutsu without seals, said Naruto. The Rasengan is inherently seal-less. Some jutsus just work like that, said Jiraiya. But if you want to truly master your wind element, I believe that's the direction to go. Can you use any jutsus without hand seals? Asked Naruto. Without seals? No. However, I can use my flame bullet with only one seal, said Jiraiya as he demonstrated the Katen flame bullet by only making half of a tiger seal. If you want to start working on this, I suggest starting with your simpler wind jutsus and practice with them while removing one hand seal at a time until you can use it while making only the last hand seal. Fiery determination took over Naruto's eyes as his task was now set in front of him. Unfortunately, he would not have time to train today as it was getting late, resulting in he and Jiraiya to return to the village. Back in Tsunade's office, Naruto and Jiraiya had finished discussing any training Naruto would be undergoing at his new training ground. While Tsunade didn't have a problem with Naruto leaving to train there, she did insist that Naruto not travel out of the village alone. At first Naruto protested, but after Tsunade expressed her concerns, especially with Akatsuki out there, he gave in to her terms that he take either Jiraiya, Kakashi-sensei, Yamato, Iruka, or another approved jonin. Now Naruto, I need to discuss something important with you, said Tsunade. It's regarding what will happen in a few months. You mean you're finally retiring? Gasped Naruto. I knew it was only a matter of time before you turned over your hat. Yes, I'm going to be Hokage. Tsunade and Jiraiya's sweat dropped. No, I'm not retiring. Although it is tempting with this damn paperwork, Tsunade said while sending a death glare towards the stack of papers on her desk. In just about 4 months from now, you'll be turning 16. Which means your true heritage will be revealed to not only the village, but also the world, said Tsunade. 16 is also the age at which a clan head can assume the full responsibilities associated with being a clan head. Which means that in less than 4 short months, you will officially be recognized as the head of the Uzumaki clan. I know that when your heritage comes to light, you'll be given the opportunity to take on your father's name, but after seeing that you've managed to find family from the Uzumaki side of your family. I know. I'll be honest and say that I've given it some thought, said Naruto. Uro-sennin did talk to me about this during our time away. But when I really think about it, I don't know too much about where my father's family comes from. From what I managed to find out from either asking Uro-sennin, Kakashi-sensei, or from the village archives, I know the Namikaze family came to Konoha in the early days of the village and that they were a skilled shinobi family, but before that, I don't really know. Besides, I've been trained in the Uzumaki techniques for the past few years, I've been told numerous stories about my ancestors and the clan they come from, and I just feel like I have a closer connection to the Uzumaki name. I understand. I just wanted to make sure you're aware. I thought I would give you some time to think about it, said Tsunade. I'll tell you a bit more as the time for you to take up the role of the Uzumaki clan head draws closer, but that can wait. So have you thought about possibly invoking the Clan Restoration Act? Nudged Jiraiya, that famed perverted grin coming onto his face. Just you and all those lovely ladies. Shut high tea, you pervert, shouted Tsunade as she smacked Jiraiya upside the head. About that, I am legally bound to inform you of it, but it appears as if someone already told you about it, sighed Tsunade. First is that it is entirely optional. If you're the last surviving member of your clan, you may take more than one woman as your bride to help you in the restoration of your clan. I know all about the CRA, Bakken. Uro-sennin made sure of it, groaned Naruto. Jiraiya just let out a nervous grin. I can already say I don't plan on invoking it. Tsunade let out a sigh of relief. Oh, thank Kemi. I was afraid you'd do something stupid. She then sent a glare to her teammate. What were you even thinking, trying to convince Naruto to undertake that stupid excuse for opening a whorehouse? I didn't, sweated Jiraiya. Actually Bakken, Uro-sennin told me not to do it. I could never ask Hinata-chan to do that. Besides, I'm not the last living member of my clan. There's Karen Nijin, Kairio Bakken, all the other Uzumakas in the Land of Iron, and I'm confident there are still a few more out there somewhere. My clan's just scattered, not extinct, said Naruto. Speaking of which, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor, Bakken. What did you do now, Gaki? Asked Tsunade, expecting the worst. Nothing, at least not yet. I wanted to ask if you could give me and my team more missions that involve bounties, said Naruto. Tsunade gave the blonde a confused look, wondering what he could need money for. I have quite a bit of money saved up, but it's not enough. If I want to rebuild the Uzumaki clan, then I'm going to need somewhere for us all to live. So you're looking to build a clan compound? Asked Tsunade. Naruto nodded. I suppose I could do that. You and your team still have a few days rest, but I'll see what I can do once you're eligible for a mission again. Thanks Bakken, smiled Naruto before leaving Tsunade and Jiraiya. Told him not to take the CRA? Questioned a skeptical Tsunade. I honestly told him not to do it. He'd be happier having a family that loves him for who he is instead of a bunch of clingy women who want him just for his money, said Jiraiya. Even if I would give anything to a beautiful woman throwing themselves at me every night. Sure. Naruto just let out a groan as he looked across the table he and his team were seated at. On his way out of the Hokage's tower, Naruto had bumped into his team, who had come looking for him for a team dinner. Of course, since Sai was now a part of their team, Sai was situated directly across from Naruto, giving the blonde his fake and slightly creepy silence. Sakura just sighed. She had hoped to clear some of the tension between Naruto and Sai with a nice and friendly dinner while acquainting Sai and Sasuke. Of course, things weren't going to go that easy. What did you just call me? Growled Sasuke as his eye twitched in an irritated manner. Is there something wrong? I just thought that giving someone a nickname would be the best way to reduce emotional barriers and hasten the development of understanding between yourself and others. At least, that's what I read in a book, Duck Butt smiled Sai. Calm down. I'm sure he didn't mean it, said Sakura, slowly realizing this was not turning out how she hoped it would be. I told you he's an asshole, said Naruto. HN, replied Sasuke. Will you two stop it? Said Sakura, trying to defuse the situation the best she could. Sai, if you really want to give someone a nickname, you can't be so blunt about it. Try giving them a nickname that actually complements them and their characteristics. Sai thought for a moment before smiling at Sakura. Thanks, I think I've got the hang of it, ugly. Naruto and Sasuke both cowered in fear as Sakura smiled sweetly at Sai. Before Shanaru. All three male members of Team 7 rubbed the bumps on their heads. Naruto and Sasuke received theirs, trying to restrain Sakura in order to prevent her from leveling the entire restaurant, and Sai received his for obvious reasons. Sakura took a big sip from a nearby sake bottle before setting it down in a stack of 4 other bottles. She had instantly gone for the alcohol the moment Sai decided to open his mouth, as Naruto and Sasuke could only help but stare as she handled the sake like a seasoned pro. Well, she is the apprentice of Tsunade, said Kurama. It shouldn't surprise you that she picked up one of her master's traits. After all, Sasuke reads Icha just like Kakashi, and you're a pervert like Jiraiya. I'm not a pervert. Kurama just laughed as he flooded Naruto's mind full of various images of sexy women and perverted thoughts, as Naruto did his absolute best to keep his blood from either spilling out of his nose or pooling in a certain area of the male anatomy. Hinata-chan. Eep. Naruto had caught up with Hinata the following day, wrapping his arms around her waist from behind and pulling his girlfriend in close before giving her a few tingling kisses along the base of her neck. "And Naruto-kun, what are you doing?" asked Hinata as she pulled away from Naruto slightly. "What's the matter, Hina-chan? I've been in the desert for the past week and I was looking forward to spending some quality time with you. Besides, I just want to give you what's yours. Isn't that what you want?" whispered Naruto into Hinata's ear. Realizing that Naruto was referring to her little outburst a while back, Hinata instantly blushed. "Well, can we go somewhere with a little more privacy?" giggled Hinata as the two bolted off towards their favorite spot to spend time together, the Hokage Monument. It didn't take long before the two were locked in a passionate makeout session. Hinata had already removed her jacket, revealing the dark purple t-shirt that she wore underneath, which just seemed to cling tightly to her curves, providing Naruto's eyes a good show before the lavender vixen laid herself on top of her blonde fox. Naruto wrapped his arms around her waist tightly as their lips began to play with one another. To Naruto's own surprise, Hinata was even teasing him a little bit, as she would oftentimes rock her body up against Naruto's, giving the blonde just enough of a taste of what she had to offer to keep him asking for more. While he might have been surprised, he was beginning to notice this side of Hinata more and more ever since he returned, and there was no way he could deny that he enjoyed it. Inside Naruto's head, Kurama was observing the show. Oh, it's only a matter of time for those two. I've got a feeling it won't be too much longer before mating season comes around, thought Kurama to himself as he let out a slight perverted chuckle. As the sun began to set, the two finally decided that they should get on with their night. Figuring they had enough dessert, the couple of lovers returned to the village to find somewhere to eat. While walking through the village, they passed a rather large crowd, composed primarily of men, at the village's theater for the premiere showing of Jiraiya's Icha Icha, the movie. Naruto was pretty sure he could pick out Kakashi-sensei in the crowd, though he couldn't quite figure out who the three other individuals were with him. Still, Naruto sent a questioning look towards the one who had a large afro, big glasses that were too dark to see through, and a nose that just screamed "my plastic." Surgeon's a complete asshole. Naruto had also sensed a familiar chakra coming from another one of them as he noticed that said person was obviously under a genjutsu. No, that can't be Sasuke, can it? Thought Naruto as he recognized the chakra signature of the genjutsu. If Sakura-chan knew he was here. A cold chill sent Naruto shuddering at that very thought. Naruto returned to his current quest, dinner with Hinata, when his stomach reminded him of its desire. Sadly, there was one last obstacle standing in the way at Naruto and his favorite dinner stop in all of Konoha, and that obstacle went by the name of Kurenai-sensei, who was out on the town with her fiancé. Naruto, I can see this is an inconvenient time for you, but I need to ask you something important, asked Kurenai. Is it about Anko's seal? Asked Naruto, already figuring out what Kurenai had wanted. It is. You said you would take a look at it when both of you were off missions, asked Kurenai. Before Naruto even had a chance to respond, Kurenai began pleading. Please. That thing has been driving her crazy ever since she got it. If there's a way to get rid of it, she may seem like some crazy psycho, and she may be, but to me she's like a sister and I don't want her to suffer any longer. Naruto smiled. Kurenai didn't need to resort to begging, as Naruto was already planning on helping her, but Kurenai expressing her feelings for Anko only served to make him more determined to get rid of that damned snake Hiki. Don't worry Kurenai-sensei, I'll get that seal of Anko, I promise. T-bio, declared Naruto. I'll ask Bakken for a place to do it tomorrow. Just see her. Really? Thank you, Naruto-kun, bowed Kurenai as a few joyful tears came to her eye. Enjoy your evening you too. Bye Kurenai-sensei, Hinata waved before being tugged by Naruto in the direction of Ramune Delight. The following day, Naruto was surprised at the number of people who simply came to observe him rid Anko of her curse mark. Around the outside of the secure room which Tsunade had provided, stood Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kurenai, Asuma, Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke, Hinata, Hanabi, Neji, Hiyashi, somewhat surprisingly Ino, and even Zabuza and Haku. Naruto was honestly expecting only Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kurenai, and maybe Hinata, but it appeared as if everyone here wanted to see if the rumors about Naruto's sealing talents surpassing that of Jiraiya's were true. And what better way to test Naruto than to see if he could defeat one of the few seals not even Jiraiya could figure out, Orochimaru's curse mark. I still don't believe a gaki like you can actually get rid of this bitch, but if Kurenai says you can, I'll trust you this once, said Anko before laying face down on a mat in the middle of the room. So how are you going to do this, Naruto? Asked Jiraiya. I honestly think the regression seal's the best way to go. I'll be sure to make a copy of Anko's seal before doing it though so you and I can take a good look at it, said Naruto. Wait, how are you going to make a copy if the seal's already in place on Anko? Asked Jiraiya. Like this, said Naruto as he walked over to Anko and pulled down her shirt just enough to expose the curse mark of heaven at the base of Anko's neck. Fuinjutsu, seal copying technique. Naruto placed his hand on top of Anko's mark. As he pulled his hand away, An exact replica of the curse mark rose up, suspended just beneath Naruto's open palm. However, it wasn't just the curse mark that appeared to rise up out of Anko's shoulder. A complex sealing matrix, the underlying workings of the curse mark, came with it. It's an Uzumaki clan technique where we can take a seal that has already been applied somewhere and copy it along with its formula to a scroll to study. Naruto placed his hand down on an open scroll and the sealing formula for the curse mark appeared. Jiraiya and Tsunade just stared at the scroll like they had just struck gold. Jiraiya immediately picked up the scroll and began examining it. "So that's how that accursed thing works," gasped the Toad Sage. "If Orochimaru developed something like this, there's only one way. He's discovered Ryuchi Cave." Tsunade's eyes widened at the mentioning of that place. "I'm going to have to talk this over with Fukasaku-sama," said Jiraiya as he rolled up the scroll and tucked it away in his coat. Yeah, can we get to getting this fucking thing off of me?" demanded Anko. Naruto nodded as Jiraiya stepped away and the blonde took the large scroll which he had brought with him off his back. Naruto unfurled the scroll to reveal its contents, the regression seal. "So that's the seal Naruto used to remove Neji's seal," thought Hiroshi. He had been hoping that Naruto would use this, wanting to see that seal in action after Naruto showed it to him during that one time. Naruto proceeded to connect the seal to Anko's curse mark before taking a step back and sitting down in a meditative position. This seal had been on Anko longer than Neji's and he would need all the chakra he could get. "What's he?" Kurenai was about to ask, but was cut off by Jiraiya. "Please don't disturb him from this point out," said Jiraiya. "Right now, he's gathering all the chakra he can get. Believe it or not, that seal in particular requires an ungodly amount of chakra." Moments later, Naruto stood up, orange pigments outlining his eyes. "Are you ready, Anko? This is going to hurt a bit," warned Naruto. "PFT, please. I don't care what sort of pain I've gotta go through if it means getting rid of this thing," said Anko. Naruto placed his hand over top of Anko's curse mark, but before he could even activate the seal, a shot of pain radiated through Anko's body as the mark somehow sensed that Anko was trying to get rid of it and began protesting. "Get this thing off!" screamed Anko as the mark tried to spread outward to take over Anko before Naruto could attempt to remove it. "Secret Uzumaki Fuinjutsu, regression seal," said Naruto as he activated the seal while Anko was doing everything she could to resist the mark. As Jiraiya watched on, he noticed that Naruto had stopped moving completely and was now acting as a channel for chakra to power the seal, pulling natural energy to power it instead of his own. By the 3-year mark, Naruto was still holding his own, not having to rely on Kurama's chakra at all. If he can make it just a little longer on natural energy, then there's no doubt he'll be able to get it with Kurama's chakra finishing it off. The 5-year mark passed and Naruto had finally exhausted the natural energy in his system and took on the version 1 cloak. Considering Naruto could only reach year 1 before without Kurama's chakra, the addition of natural energy appeared to make a huge difference when using the regression seal. Anko let out another cry of pain as the process neared the end, the curse mark making one last attempt to save itself before it spun and disappeared completely from the base of Anko's neck. As Naruto saw it disappear, he deactivated the version 1 cloak, which had managed to maintain all 9 tails this time around. "It's gone," gasped Kurenai. A few other people, mainly those who were not familiar with the seal at all, just stared in surprise. "That seal's something, isn't it?" Jiraiya asked no one in particular. Kurenai was the first one at Anko's side as the Tokubitsu Jonin fought off the last bits of pain and opened her eyes. Anko immediately reached for the back of her neck instinctively. She was now in a state of disbelief. For the first time in 13 years, she couldn't feel that snake's dark chakra running through her system. "Is it really?" gasped the purple-haired Kunoichi. Kurenai smiled before removing her forehead protector and using it as a mirror to show Anko a bare neck. Naruto had braced himself for just about any reaction from the crazy snake Kunoichi, but what happened wasn't quite what he had expected at all. Anko immediately wrapped the blonde up in a frantic hug while repeatedly shouting thank you as if she were a little girl whose dad had just let her get a new puppy. That part really wasn't too bad, but Anko had sandwiched Naruto's head in her sizable cleavage, while her grip had prevented the blonde from coming up for air. A few people didn't know how to react and Jiraiya was quickly cursing his own luck while praising his apprentice at the same time. However, any thoughts going around the room were killed by a massive spike of killing intent, coming from none other than a certain Hyuga. A hug or a thank you, Hinata would understand completely, but once Anko started rubbing her breasts in Naruto's face, Hinata couldn't help it. She practically stomped over to where Naruto was slowly having the life squeezed out of him and tore him from Anko's grasp. Naruto had only a moment to breathe before being smothered by yet another pair of breasts, these belonging to Hinata. A wicked smirk appeared on Anko's face, the smirk that scared even Ibiki. "I see how it is. The little princess wants the gaki all for herself. I understand completely," smiled Anko. "Besides, I don't have time to take care of the gaki tonight." Anko strode over towards where Zabuza was. "Nope, I'm going to busy breaking in my new toy, all night long." A night alone with Anko. Some people were praising Zabuza like some sort of man god, others were sending him silent prayers. "Now if you'll excuse us," grinned Anko as she left the room with Zabuza. "Oh, and try not to wear the gaki out too soon." As Anko finally left the room to go celebrate, Hinata finally realized what had just happened as she let out a small leap and jumped back, releasing the panting blonde from her grasp. It wasn't that she had just thrown herself at Naruto, partially giving in to her hormones, it was because there were other people present, including her own family, who had witnessed her little act that had caused her to go red from embarrassment. Hiyashi sent Naruto a look and Naruto just responded with a big grin. After last night, he and Naruto had come to an understanding with one another and Hiyashi was forced to concede to allowing Naruto and Hinata's love life play its natural course. It however was Hanabi who was the first one to speak. "I see how it is, Nizan. Don't worry. If you want, I can ensure you and Naruto have some privacy tonight," grinned Hanabi as she pointed to Hiyashi. "Hanabi," squeaked Hinata. "It's not, wait, that's not what I just saw," teased Hanabi. The entire room burst out in laughter. "Jiraiya," Tsunade growled at her perverted teammate who had just recorded the entire event in his notebook. Jiraiya just sweated as he quickly put his notebook away. But it was already too late. Ideas for the next Icha book were already flowing through his perverted mind. Orochimaru's eyes widened in shock and surprise. Because the curse marks he gave contained a part of him, he could feel what was happening to every one of his victims that he gave the mark to. However, one or two curse marks fading every now and then really didn't surprise him that much as it was expected that those who bore the mark would die off for one reason or another. But the mark that he sensed disappear off his radar wasn't just any mark. It was Anko's mark. "Orochimaru-sama, is everything okay?" asked a concerned Kabuto. "Anko-chan's curse mark has vanished. I can no longer sense it," said Orochimaru. Pity. She must have finally died," said Kabuto. "No, that's not it," hissed Orochimaru. "I know Anko-chan. She wouldn't die just like that. It's been removed." "But sir, the only one who can remove it is you," gasped Kabuto. "How is that possible?" "I don't know, Kabuto," said Orochimaru. "And once the transfer is complete and I have my new body, I intend to find out." "So you've decided then?" asked Kabuto. "I have. Prepare Karatsu," said Orochimaru. "I figured you would choose him, Orochimaru-sama," grinned Kabuto. "The dark release Kekkei Genkai surely is something, isn't it?" "It is, but that's not the one that truly captured my interest," grinned Orochimaru. Walking through the village early one morning, Naruto let out a big yawn. What to do today? Kakashi-sensei, Sakura-chan, Sasuke, and Sai have all been given a mission without me, leaving me here alone. I guess I could go and see if Hinata-chan wants to do something, though she's probably busy training with Neji and Hiyashi-san in the morning, so I'll have to wait until after lunch. It really didn't come as a surprise that Naruto was sitting this mission out. Tsunade had granted Naruto his request in helping him towards obtaining a plot of land to help with the restoration of the Uzumaki clan, and for the past month, Naruto and his team had been given 5 missions, all resulting in rather sizable bounties. Combining those bounties along with the money he had saved up over the past few years, any money he managed to win off of Tsunade during their weekly poker nights, and of course the royalties he got from helping Jiraiya with the Icha books. It wouldn't be much longer before he would be able to start re-establishing his clan in Konoha. "Oi, Naruto." Naruto turned around to see Kiba and Shino behind him, both wearing what appeared to be well-packed backpacks. Naruto's thoughts immediately jumped to one conclusion: a long time without Hinata-chan. "Hey, what's up? Looks like you guys have a mission." "Yeah, Hokage-sama assigned us to an extended border patrol around the northern border," groaned Kiba. 2 whole months at the outpost along the borders of Fire Country and Hot Water Country, yay. Naruto could already feel his spirits deflate. 2 months without Hinata? Yeah. Hinata's the lucky one. She's on standby so she doesn't have to sit in that outpost for the next 2 months, said Kiba. Wait, Hinata-chan's not going away? Yata, exclaimed Naruto. Well, he seems excited, said Kiba as the excited blonde dashed down the street. Of course he is. I know he would not enjoy being separated from Hinata-san for that long, stated Shino. Why? Because he and Hinata enjoy each other's company, just as I enjoy Fu-san's company. Yeah, waved Kiba as he and Shino proceeded to the main gate to meet up with Yamato and Fu. Akamaru barked on Kiba side. Yeah, I know, boy. Just about everyone's got someone. Hell, even Shino's going out with someone. I mean, sure, I've been on plenty of dates with girls around the village, but that's all they've been. Tsunade's office. Tsunade-sama, an urgent request from the land of birds, said Shizune, presenting Tsunade with a mission request scroll. It's sad that their daimyo has passed away, as well as Lady Toki. I knew the daimyo personally and he was a good man, said Tsunade. So they are requesting a guard detail during the coronation of Lord Sagi? Shizune, who do we have on standby for a high C-rank mission? Asked Tsunade. Shizune handed Tsunade a list. C ranks were reserved primarily for more experienced Shin'an and newly minted Chunin, although it was entirely possible for more experienced Chunin or under experienced Shin'an to participate. As Tsunade looked down the list, most of the eligible candidates for this type of mission were either currently on a mission, listed as injured, or inactive for one reason or another. As she scanned the room, there were only a handful of shinobi to choose from, most of them being extremely underqualified Shin'an. I suppose I could give some Shin'an a chance who have worked hard and pair them with 2 Chunin. Now let's see who that could be. Tsunade's list narrowed even further, and once she realized that there were only 4 names that stood out and her head fell against her desk as she let out a groan. Hiyashi's gonna kill me, groaned Tsunade. Tsunade-sama? Questioned Shizune while Tauntaun hopped from Shizune's arms and onto Tsunade's desk to poke the troubled Hokage. Tsunade quickly scribbled down a few names onto a piece of paper and handed it to Shizune. Shizune, please summon these 4 for a mission briefing. As Naruto was running down an empty side alley, he suddenly stopped when he encountered an unexpected surprise. Sexy Jutsu, Hinata version. Naruto immediately stopped dead in his tracks as he gazed upon a beautiful and quite naked Hinata standing in front of him. Hi. Naruto's words were caught in his own throat as his eyes took in the image of a completely naked Hinata standing in front of him. The luscious curves, busty breasts, and innocent yet sexy expression on her face all etched themselves into his memory. Damn! I tapped that, whistled Kurama. Ha! I got you, Naruto-nikan, exclaimed Konohamaru as he undid the transformation. Now you've gotta show me a cool jutsu. Whack! Don't do that, you little brat, shouted Naruto as he smacked Konohamaru upside the head. Hinata-chan's not like that. You can't just go around transforming into her like that in the middle of the village. What if someone saw you do that? Naruto shivered at the thought of someone like Hiyashi. Or worse, Hinata, seeing that jutsu. But still, he couldn't help but agree with his inner pervert on 2 things. 1. Konohamaru's sexy jutsu version was spot on, and 2. Hinata had an incredibly hot body. Konohamaru sighed. I know, boss. But it was the only thing I could think that would work on you. Tell you what, I promise I won't use that ever again if you teach me something. Naruto couldn't help but smile at his little brother figure's enthusiasm to learn from him. You know, perhaps I could teach him a thing or 2. Iruka-sensei said he's been working pretty hard and perhaps he's ready to learn something more. Yeah, I suppose I could help you out, said Naruto. Although, where's Iruka-sensei? Shouldn't you be meeting with your team? Sometime later at a nearby training ground. So your team and Hanabi's team were on a joint mission to take care of some bandits, but the bandits had some missing ninja in their rank, said Naruto, summarizing Konohamaru's story as they made their way to Training Ground 7. So this misinformation resulted in Iruka-sensei getting injured while saving him. However, Udon and Hanabi's 2 teammates getting injured later in the fights as well? Yeah. Iruka-sensei was incredible taking out that one Chunin, giving me the perfect opportunity to take out the rest of the enemies and save everyone, boasted Konohamaru. You really should have seen it, boss, the way I stepped in and took down that enemy ninja before he could hurt Hanabi. Oh, he's so bluffing, almost as bad as you used to. I can smell it, said Kurama. Hey! I so did not have to lie to tell everyone how awesome I was, retorted Naruto. And how many times did Sasuke have to cover your ass back when you were Jinan? Replied Kurama. "Those don't count," shouted Naruto as Kurama just rolled his eyes. "Alright Konohamaru. I remember promising you to help teach you the jutsu of Sun Daime GGs if you could use the Shadow Clone Jutsu well enough," said Naruto. "Awesome. I won't disappoint you, boss." "Huh?" Naruto said as he heard the call of a hawk above them. Naruto motioned for it and the hawk landed on his outstretched arm. Taking the scroll from the message pouch, the blonde turned to Konohamaru. "We'll have to do this some other time, Konohamaru. Tsunade Bakan wants us in her office." "Stand still, Nichan," shouted Hanabi as she struck at Hinata. The two had been sparring in the courtyard as part of their father's morning training regimen for them. Even though Hinata was still reluctant to land a hit on her little sister, that didn't mean she had to let Hanabi hit her. Her inability to land a single hit on Hinata was causing the younger Hanabi to unleash some bottled-up frustration. As Hinata spun out of the way of one of her sister's strikes, Hanabi's palm collided with a wooden post that was behind where Hinata used to be. Hanabi's frustration had caused her to inadvertently unleash a burst of chakra, splintering the post. "Imoto, is something wrong?" asked Hinata. While Hanabi would always face a spar with confidence and fierceness that was known throughout the main branch of the Hyugas, even Hanabi wouldn't use a strike like that in a spar. That strike could have seriously injured someone. "It's all that Baka's fault," shouted a frustrated Hanabi. Hinata just sent Hanabi a questioning look, waiting for her sister to continue. It was because Konohamaru Baka had to just charge in there, without any plan, and trying to play the hero that everyone else got hurt. Hinata sighed while Neji just rolled his eyes as he was reminded of a certain blonde a few years ago. Before Hanabi could vent some more, a messenger hawk appeared above the Hyuga household, landing on Hinata's outstretched arm. Taking the note, the Hyuga beauty read it before turning to the rest of her family. "I am sorry Tauzen, but it appears Hanabi and I are being summoned by Tsunade-sama," said Hinata. "Both of us?" asked Hanabi. "Probably a mission of some sort," said Neji. "It is about time that they begin to mix up some teams a little to give Shinon some experience with working with other shinobi and giving Chunin an easy opportunity to hone their leadership skills." Omake, deleted scene, an understanding. Hatake Kakashi, avid Icha fan, was one of the many fans of the hit adult novel series in line for the premiere of the first ever Icha movie, being released right here in Konoha. Currently, Kakashi was standing outside the movie theater when he was approached by a man with dark brown and spiky hair with a goatee beard. "Well, it seems you made it, Sasuke," said Kakashi as he looked up at the man. The one-eyed Jonin could instantly sense the transformation he had placed on himself to make him appear older, considering this movie was for the 18 and older crowd only. However, after being converted into almost as avid of an Icha fan as Kakashi himself, there was no way Sasuke was waiting another 2 years to see the movie. A simple transformation to make him appear as an adult would deter most civilians from questioning his age, while a quick hypnotizing genjutsu from his Sharingan would take care of most trained shinobi. Any other shinobi present, such as Kakashi, just honestly didn't care. A few short minutes later, they ran into Ebisu, who had put on a quick disguise as well. He had a reputation to keep and as such, had thrown a quick disguise together. The disguise itself was reasonable, unlike the one belonging to the next member joining them. Kakashi's eye widened as he tried his best to suppress a laugh as a man with an afro, resembling something that guy would do if he was going to a disco club, and a nose that was so horrendously huge that only an elephant's mother could be proud of it. Of course, the large glasses hiding the man's eyes didn't help him at all. "Is that really the best you could do, Hiyashi?" chuckled Kakashi. "You couldn't have just used a simple transformation?" "This was all I could find. Some little brat ruined my old disguise with his last prank and I couldn't risk a transformation. What'll I do if someone undoes the transformation? I have a reputation to maintain," said Hiyashi. I don't recall Naruto pulling any pranks lately," said Kakashi. "It wasn't Naruto," groaned Hiyashi. Apparently, Konohamaru's growing rivalry with Hanabi had prompted him to pulling a prank on the Hyuga clan, using Hiyashi's old disguise as part of the prank. Kakashi just shrugged as they went into the movie. Partway into the movie, a scene appeared on the screen and to everyone's surprise, a familiar blonde appeared within that scene. It wasn't an adult scene, but to the raging Hiyashi, it didn't really matter that much. Naruto and Hinata were currently eating their dinner at Naruto's favorite restaurant in the village, Ichiraku Ramen, when a cry rang out through the village that instantly sent the blonde into a panic. "Uzumaki Naruto. Oh crap. He found out," sweated Naruto as he grabbed Hinata to try and find a place to hide from Hiyashi, who was now right down the street, running at blinding speeds towards Naruto with a Juken strike aimed for his manhood. "Naruto-kun? What's going on?" asked Hinata. Naruto dodged Hiyashi's strike. "I swear Hiyashi-san, I didn't mean to. You see, Uro-sennin needed someone to fill that role and he refused to train me unless I agreed to play the part. It wasn't anything bad, I swear." "Still, you were on the Icha Icha set. I saw you in the movie. I thought I made it clear to stay away from sensei's less desirable traits," said Hiyashi. Hinata's eyes immediately snapped open. Her father wasn't like that. He wouldn't go to such a movie, would he? Damn it. Hiyashi immediately smacked himself as he just realized. He had admitted to basically being a closet pervert and Icha Icha fan in front of his own daughter. Fortunately for Naruto, he had also picked up on Hiyashi's slip. "You know Hiyashi-san, now that I think about it, I seem to remember a few stories of your time under Uro-sennin's tutelage," said Naruto as he locked eyes with his sibling student. Normally, Hiyashi would be able to win such a staring contest hands down, but if Naruto was talking about the stories he thought, this was one argument he didn't want getting out of hand, especially one with a hyperactive blonde. Surprisingly, Naruto wasn't backing down to the feared Hyuga stare and Hiyashi knew that Naruto indeed knew of some of his exploits under Jiraiya's tutelage. So, wanting to make sure nothing got out, he gave in. "It believe then we've come to an understanding, Naruto." "Yes, I believe we have," replied Naruto. "Well then, you two have a good night," said Hiyashi as he quickly left. Naruto let out a sigh of relief. "Oh Naruto-kun," Hinata said sweetly, too sweetly. Naruto gulped. "You. Humph." Tsunade should have known something was going to happen the moment she put the team together. Naruto and Konohamaru had just walked into the Hokage's office. To join the remaining members of the team she had assembled to handle a mission to the Land of Birds. Hyuga Hinata and Hyuga Hanabi had been patiently waiting in the office for a few minutes now before Uzumaki Naruto and Sarutobi Konohamaru arrived, and that was when any sense of quiet in the room got up and promptly left. Hanabi groaned and she and Konohamaru immediately began arguing. "What's up between them?" Naruto whispered to Hinata. "Hanabi blames Konohamaru for everyone getting injured during their last mission," responded Hinata. "And it doesn't help that they've been like this ever since Hanabi moved up to Konohamaru's grade in the academy." "Yeah. Konohamaru told me about that mission," said Naruto. "He told me that he was able to take out the remaining enemies when Iruka-sensei created an opening, saving the rest of the team. Hanabi told me that it was Konohamaru who needed saving, resulting in Iruka-sensei getting injured," said Hinata. "That was what allowed the rest of the bandits to attack the team before Anko-san was able to step in." Naruto sighed. "I want to believe Konohamaru, but I know he wasn't telling me the truth," said Naruto. "At least not all of it." "He's a lot like you," said Hinata before Tsunade finally ended the various conversations going on through the room. "Getting back to the reason I summoned the four of you here," said Tsunade, obviously irritated and only mere moments before either throwing her desk out the window for Kotetsu and Izumo to go fetch again or downing the 3 bottles of sake in her desk. "We have received a mission request from the Land of Birds. Over the past 6 months, their daimyo Lord Owashi succumbed to illness and passed away. As well, so did the younger sister of the heir to the throne, Lady Toki. Now, the country has finished preparations to coordinate Lord Sagi as the new daimyo, with the exception of one problem. Apparently a ghost warrior has been attacking some of the officials and they have asked for us to provide security during the coronation celebrations." Tsunade looked up from the mission document in front of her face to only find 3 of the 4 people she summoned present. Looking over her desk, she spotted the 4th. "GG ghost?" shrieked a shivering Naruto. "You said nothing about a G-ghost." Everyone in the room just sweat dropped at the blonde's antics. "Really Niizen?" groaned Hanabi. "What? Ghosts are scary," defended Naruto. "The Gaki can look the Kyuubi in the eye without even so much as a bead of sweat on his brow, but he's afraid of ghosts? Just great," groaned Tsunade. "Based on the most recent actions, Hinata, you appear to have the most leveled head in this room." Tsunade tossed Hinata the mission briefing, indicating the assignment of Hinata as the team leader. "The 4 of you are dismissed. Report here tomorrow morning to meet the client and be prepared to depart." Konohamaru and Hanabi immediately ran off in separate directions, not really wanting to spend too much time around one another. "I'm going to go and find Iruka-sensei. If anyone has the full story, it's him," said Naruto. "Okay. I'll meet you at Ichiraku for dinner later tonight then?" asked Hinata, giving Naruto a quick kiss on the cheek before the couple went their separate ways for the day. It didn't take Naruto too long to arrive at Iruka's apartment. The Scarface Jonin had been discharged from the hospital, although his arm was still in a sling as Naruto saw when Iruka answered the door. "Naruto? What are you doing here?" asked Iruka. "Hey Iruka-sensei. Well, you see, I wanted to ask you about what happened on the last mission that got Konohamaru and Hanabi at each other's throats," said Naruto, earning a questioning look from Iruka. "I kind of got assigned a mission with Hinata-chan and... let me guess. Hokage-sama added them to the mission as well?" Naruto nodded and Iruka sighed. "Remind me to treat you to ramen if you make it back with your mind intact. Anyways, those two have had a big rivalry ever since Hanabi joined Konohamaru's class in the academy. In a sense, it was a lot like how you and Sasuke acted back in the academy. But anyways, during the last mission, we were assigned to eliminate a rather large camp of bandits. It was the first real mission that my team had been on, and Anko-san's team was assigned to provide us with additional support. When we arrived at the camp, Anko and I had established a plan that would allow us to take down a sizable number of their forces before they had any time to react." "Okay, sounds understandable," said Naruto. "Yeah, and that's what we all agreed on. Take them out quick and silent," said Iruka. "We took our positions, but Udon ended up slipping on a nearby branch and tumbling into one of the bushes on the outskirts of the camp. This startled a few of the bandits, but many of them passed it off as an animal or something. I ordered for everyone to hold their positions, however a few of the bandits got up and went to investigate the animal. I made a quick signal to Udon to use a transformation jutsu, but before that happened, Konohamaru began the attack, thinking that if he didn't they were going to hurt or kill Udon. So Konohamaru began the attack. Seeing as there were already a few bandits alert, I'm guessing the element of surprise went right out the door?" asked Naruto. "Yep. Within a minute or two, we had the entire camp upon us. There were also a few lower-ranking ninja that Anko and I were busy taking care of," said Iruka. "While that was going on, the 6 Shin'an were busy with the bandits. They were doing fairly well against them, but their numbers began to overwhelm them. By the time I had finished up with the ninja Moigi, Udon, Katami, and Koshi had all sustained sufficient injuries to put them out of the fight. They would survive, but they wouldn't fight. Another bandit made an attempt to attack Konohamaru, but before he could get anywhere near him, the bandit crumpled to the ground unable to move." "Hanabi and the Juken, I'm guessing?" asked Naruto, receiving a nod from Iruka. "Well, Hanabi saving him certainly didn't help, I'd imagine." "Nope. There were still about a dozen bandits to take care of, far too many for Konohamaru and Hanabi to deal with, so I ordered them to take the rest of the Shin'an and retreat. I was able to take care of the bandits, but broke my arm in the process." Anko was also injured during her battle with one of the shinobi amongst their ranks. Apparently he was a high Chunin rank from Iwa. All in all, Hanabi blames Konohamaru for the mission going the way it did and putting most of the team in the hospital. Alright, thanks Iruka-sensei, said Naruto. I mean, it was a tough call and Konohamaru just acted. Either Udon was going to be discovered and the mission would have gone straight to hell, or they would have remained in their positions and hoped that Udon would have been able to slip away unnoticed. I'll be honest, I probably would have just done what Konohamaru would have done. Yeah, but at the same time you have to look at the difference in skill between you and everyone on that team. Not to mention you could have just made an army and slaughtered the bandits with overwhelming numbers, replied Kurama. And that's what happened, said Naruto in between slurps of ramen. I don't think I can say necessarily whether or not Konohamaru was right in that situation, replied Hinata as she took a much smaller sip of her miso ramen. I guess I would have waited for Iruka-sensei or Anko-sensei to make the first move, but I understand that if Konohamaru didn't do anything, then Udon would have been discovered and possibly injured or worse. Konohamaru thinks he was right, Hanabi thinks he was wrong, and according to Iruka-sensei their rivalry is about as big as the one I had with Sasuke back in the academy, said Naruto. But that rivalry eventually led to the bond between the two of you that exists today, said Hinata. Yeah. He may be a team at times, but to me he's like a brother, said Naruto. Naruto's attention to his ramen was broken as he felt a pair of eyes watching him and Hinata. Turning around, he saw a man with large round glasses and brown hair quickly duck behind the corner of Ichiraku Ramen. Hey, don't just stand out there and stare, said Naruto. Sorry. It just smells so good and I don't exactly have the money to pay for it right now, said the man. I kind of spent all of it to commission a mission. Huh? A mission? Asked Naruto. Naruto-kun? Hinata called out from inside Ichiraku, wondering where her boyfriend had gone. "Oh, who's this?" "Oh, Hinata-chan, this is, forgive me. I'm Chishima," introduced the man. Hinata's eyes widened slightly at the name mentioned, the name listed on the mission briefing as their client. "Wait, so you're the one who commissioned the mission for the Land of Birds?" asked Naruto. "Yeah, I suppose I am," said Chishima. "Well then please come in. We are two of the ninja assigned to escort you beginning tomorrow. Why don't you join us and we can get acquainted?" suggested the polite Hinata. Chishima graciously took up the invitation, much to the foreboding feeling coming from Gama-chan. Naruto and Hinata left Ichiraku and Chishima for the night, with Hinata trying to console a crying Naruto who was holding a deflated Gama-chan. Between him and Chishima, the two of them had eaten Ichiraku out of food, and Tucci was forced to close the restaurant early for the night. Of course, he had plenty of money to restock his pantry courtesy of Naruto. The Hyuga compound quickly came into view, and Hinata invited Naruto as Hiyashi was beginning to show more interest in some of Naruto's missions and training. However, as they passed through the gate, Naruto and Hinata heard a menacing growl towards them courtesy of Hyuga Moriko. "How dare you sully our home with your presence," growled the Hyuga elder. "Isn't it enough that you've already defiled one of our own?" Naruto just rolled his eyes and ignored the Hyuga. The Hyuga clan was just like the rest of the village. There were a few who saw Naruto for who he truly was and respected him. Most of them had a neutral view of Naruto, but then there were those few die-hard demon haters that even Naruto knew weren't going away anytime soon. People like the Hyuga elders and Konoha's civilian council, minus Sakura's father, were amongst those few who wanted to do everything they could to make Naruto suffer. However, their numbers were dwindling, and Naruto was hoping it wouldn't be much longer before he began to win them over as well. "Moriko, I suggest you leave my daughter alone and retire for the night," said the Hyuga head as he stepped from his home. "As an elder of this clan, I feel it's my duty to ensure that our clan isn't seen associating with anyone of a lower stature," said Moriko as he slowly turned to walk away. "The last thing I would want is for someone of this clan to become the whore of some lowly demon." Both Naruto and Hiyashi heard this little jab of Moriko's, and there was no way they were going to let the smug bastard get away with insulting Hinata like that. Both of them had gathered chakra into their palms, one preparing for a Juken strike and the other a Rasengan. However, before either could make a move to strike Moriko, the chakra in their arms were cut off and a hand grasped their wrists, keeping them from striking the Hyuga elder. "Please don't," begged Hinata as she felt the two men in her grasp relax. "I don't want either of you getting in trouble because of Moriko. Let him say what he wishes, for his words are just that, words. To me, his words mean nothing. In time, he'll come to realize just how blind he truly is." Moriko shot the trio one last glance before leaving Hiyashi, Hinata, and Naruto for the night. The following morning, Hinata, Naruto, Hanabi, Konohamaru, and Chishima departed the gate and made for the Land of Birds, typically a 4-day journey for trained shinobi, but with the presence of Chishima, it would be 6 days. "I still don't get why Konohamaru Baka had to come," stated Hanabi rudely. "This is supposed to be a simple mission. And it'll only be that much simpler with me here," boasted Konohamaru. "Besides, we've got Naruto Niikan with us." "It's not Naruto Niikan I'm worried about," said Hanabi. "I'm just worried he'll do something stupid again." "Hey! If I hadn't stopped those bandits, they would have gotten it on," retorted Konohamaru. "There's no way I was going to let that happen." "You should have just waited for Iruka-sensei or Anko-sensei to do something then," retorted Hanabi. "They would have been able to save Udon and keep the entire camp off our asses." Naruto and Hinata sent each other a quick glance and just sighed. This argument continued for the rest of the day until it started to turn into something that got Hinata turning red. "If only you weren't trying to show off all the time, Baka," shouted Hanabi. "I know for one I've never found myself impressed by you." "Oh, don't get your hopes up, Hanabi. Besides, why would I ever want to impress you?" retorted Konohamaru. "Because I'm the heiress of Konoha's largest clan. I've already had half a dozen marriage propositions offered to me from various clans from around Fire Country," bragged Hanabi. 10 might have been a little too young to think about marriage, but when dealing with clan relations, there were those who wanted to try and secure their positions early. "Yeah? Well, those guys must really be messed up in the head or something. You're loud, have a temper, and not to mention a little flat in the areas guys really pay attention to," replied Konohamaru. Naruto practically choked on the apple he was busy eating. Hinata had a blank expression on her red face, and a certain fox was having trouble breathing as he laughed at the young Sarutobi's impending doom. One strong punch upside the head fueled by feminine fury was the only warning Konohamaru had. "I'll have you know that I'm only 10. And that I'm much bigger than any girl my age. Just you wait. One day I'll have breasts as big and full as Nizan or even Tsunade-sama." "Hanabi," shouted Hinata, trying to stop the argument before it got even more out of control. It was late in the evening when the Konoha team came within sight of the gates of the capital of the Land of Birds. There was an eerie chill in the air. "Do you feel that?" "Yeah. Something's going on over there," replied Naruto. "Hinata, look over in that direction." Hinata took the blonde's advice and activated her Byakugan, looking off in the direction Naruto was pointing. There's a warrior dressed in ancient samurai armor inside someone's house. The man's in his bed and appears to be reaching for a sword, and there are a number of warriors outside the house. Hinata also further described the man whom was being confronted by the ghostly warrior. "What? That sounds like it's the cursed warrior," exclaimed Chishima. "And he's attacking Komiai-sama. We've got to do something." "Right, let's go," ordered Hinata. Arriving at the house of the Land of Birds strategist, Komiai, the Konoha team arrived just in time to see the cursed warrior rise up into the air and practically glide over top the army that had assembled to capture it. Able to pursue the mystery ghost, the Konoha team found themselves chasing the mysterious intruder all the way to the outskirts of the city until an old temple came into view, and it appeared as if the ghost was descending. "It definitely looks like there's a person inside that armor," stated Hanabi as she noticed the presence of a functional chakra network within the suit of armor. Hinata nodded at Hanabi's analysis, seeing the same thing. "Stop!" shouted Konohamaru as the samurai landed on the temple grounds. The warrior turned around to see the young Sarutobi lunge at him with a knife at the ready. Drawing its sword, the warrior blocked Konohamaru's attack and sent the young Sarutobi flying back. "Naruto-kun, there's a shinobi on the inside of that armor. I can see the usage of chakra," said Hinata. Naruto grabbed his own blade from his side and made a move on the ghost. The cursed warrior made an effort to block and retaliate against Naruto's attack, but their difference in skill with a sword was evident as all the ghost would do was deflect Naruto's blade so that it would still slice him through the shoulder. Considering Naruto wasn't going for a killing slice and only to disarm, that stab wound in the shoulder wasn't an improvement. Jumping back, the warrior did the only thing it could and whipped up a violent whirlwind to act as a barrier between himself and the Konoha ninja. Naruto just smirked as he channeled some chakra into his blade and cut through the whirlwind with ease. As soon as his blade made contact with the jutsu, the curse warrior's whirlwind barrier began to recede as it was absorbed into Arashi. "Jmyukan, 8 trigrams, 32 palms," exclaimed Hanabi as she went into one of the Hyuga's signature attacks. "Hey! That got him!" The warrior was thrown against a tree, defeated, but as the Konoha team approached the enemy, a gas rose out from between the cracks and joints of the armor as it slumped over and fell into its separate pieces. A greenish liquid then seeped out of the armor. "What is that?" exclaimed Hanabi. "I could have sworn there was a person inside." "Seems our ghost was prepared in case of capture," said Naruto. "It looks like he took some sort of suicide capsule to prevent himself from being captured." "What?" exclaimed Konohamaru. "But I didn't get a chance to show him my true skills." "You mean your skills at getting shot back into bushes?" retorted Hanabi. Konohamaru just squinted his eyes at Hanabi, who stuck her tongue out at the young Sarutobi. However, as Konohamaru removed his attention from Hanabi, the Hyuga heir's look changed to one showing a bit of disappointment. After the whole incident with the warrior, the Konoha team was shown to a guest cabin that they could use for their time in the Land of Birds. They were informed that they would meet with Lord Moso, Lord Sagi's chief advisor, in the morning, where they would discuss the cursed warrior issue and the upcoming coronation. It was late in the night and most everyone had gone to sleep. Naruto and Hinata had fallen asleep next to each other, which had led to Hinata cuddling up into Naruto's embrace. Konohamaru and Hanabi were then separated by the blissful couple. In the wee hours of the morning, Naruto found himself awakened by a predicament. He really had to use the bathroom. Slowly working his way out of Hinata's grasp, he managed to get up to go and do his business. On his way back into the main room where everyone was sleeping, he noticed Konohamaru's bed empty. Out of curiosity, Naruto took a quick look around and just outside the guest house, eventually finding his young rival sitting atop the roof and in deep thought. "Konohamaru? What are you doing up so late?" asked Naruto as he sat down beside Konohamaru. "I messed up again today, Naruto-nikan," sighed Konohamaru. I thought I could rush in there and take down that enemy, but I just ended up embarrassing myself. Why are you trying so hard? I mean, I admire your determination, but you should at least take a moment to think before jumping into a situation. Naruto paused for a moment. You know, that honestly sounded kind of weird coming from me. Both brothers laughed at Naruto's last words. But if I don't act, I could lose my chance, said Konohamaru. Chance? What chance? Asked Naruto. You know, my chance. My chance to prove myself, said Konohamaru. Konohamaru, you don't need to prove yourself to me, said Naruto. I already know you're a strong shinobi who's going to be a great Hokage someday, after me that is though. Ha! You just admitted that I'll be Hokage someday, exclaimed Konohamaru. Perhaps, but you've got to earn it, said Naruto. And that means knowing what it is you're rushing into. Now, if I'm not the one you're trying to impress, then who? I mean, I guess because Hinata-chan is the team leader you could be looking for some sort of commendation. Or, it's Hanabi's attention you're trying to get. No, it's not, shouted Konohamaru as he began to take on a slight blush across his face. That blush did not, by any means, go unnoticed. Oh, I think it is, grinned Naruto. Believe me. I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're just trying to get Hanabi's attention, although I think you're going about it in all the wrong ways. Konohamaru let out a sigh. Am I really going about it wrong, boss? Yeah. You can't try and force something, especially a relationship. Trust me, I learned the hard way when I used to have a crush on Sakura-chan, said Naruto, subconsciously rubbing his jaw. Then what am I supposed to do? Asked Konohamaru. Don't worry. I'll help you, said Naruto. Inside the guest house, Naruto and Konohamaru weren't the only ones up and talking. I think I see what's going on here, smiled Hinata. You like Konohamaru? I do not, shouted Hanabi, at exactly the same time Konohamaru blurted no, it's not from outside the guest house. Hanabi then began to blush slightly and twiddle her fingers in a very Hinata-esque fashion. Okay, maybe. But I just wish he'd stop being so blunt and such a baka. Perhaps you've got to tone it down a little, suggested Hinata. What do you mean tone it down? Asked Hanabi. Well, for one, don't call him a baka, said Hinata as she continued to give her younger sister some advice. The following day, the Konoha team along with Chishima met with the priest and chief advisor, Moso. Their first impression of the man was that he was a jovial and humble individual. He was also quick in expressing his gratitude towards the Konoha ninja for responding to their mission request. Following the meeting with the chief advisor, Hinata made a request to Chishima to meet Lord Sagi himself, and Chishima obliged, telling them that the best place to meet Lord Sagi was by a lake just outside the city. Observing from the reeds at the edge of the lake, the Konoha team watched as a carriage approached the side of the lake. The curtains of the carriage opened and they got their first glimpse of Lord Sagi. He was young with chin-length purple hair. However, a look of sadness, mourning, and grief hung over his face. He's actually kind of cute, said Hanabi. He's not that great, snorted Konohamaru to himself. Before anything else could be said, Naruto's senses kicked into gear and he immediately launched a few shuriken to knock away about half a dozen shuriken that came flying out of the water. Immediately, Sagi's guards were on guard as three masked ninja rose from the lake with swords at the ready to attack the young lord. However, before they could even advance much further, Naruto shunshined in front of Sagi's carriage and charged at the three ninja. He quickly made two clones to accompany him as the rest of the team arrived to guard Sagi. Much to Hinata's horror, the blades of the attackers pierced straight through Naruto and his clones, but the grins coming from Naruto's face told otherwise. All three Narutos disappeared in a burst of smoke, giving Hinata a much-needed sigh of relief. As the three attackers continued their assault, they soon fell to the ground, completely unable to move and bound by a sealing matrix that was now covering their entire body. Well, what do you know? They worked, D-by-O! Exclaimed Naruto as he appeared next to his team. Naruto-kun, shouted Hinata. Please warn me before you do something like that again. They may be clones, but I still don't like seeing you being impaled by a sword. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Sorry Hinata-chan, but I saw this as a good time to test my newest jutsu, seal clones. Seal clones? Asked all three of his teammates. Yeah. They're a variant of shadow clones, but using the chakra that they are made out of, I implant a seal within them, which activates when someone makes them dispel. That seal can be anything really. I just used an immobilization seal for these guys, But in reality I could have done a chakra-draining seal, or even an exploding seal, said Naruto. The three captured ninja sweated at the mention that the seals that were now immobilizing them could have potentially blown up on them. Unfortunately, in order for the seals to actually activate, the clones need to be killed and such. Sagi-sama, are you alright? Hinata asked, turning to the young lord while Naruto took care of their captors. Sagi sighed. It would have been better if those ninja had killed me. Naruto caught this and immediately turned to Sagi. What was that? Growled Naruto. Sagi just ignored Naruto and turned away as his carriage was carried back towards the city. Naruto was about to go back, but was stopped by Chishima. Please don't push Sagi-sama, Naruto-san, pleaded Chishima. He's been like this ever since his father and younger sister passed away. Thank you everyone for saving Sagi-sama, said Chishima. I'm going to go and discuss the presence of enemy ninja with Moso-sama. Now please excuse me. And with that Chishima headed back to the village. I say we ask our friends what they were doing here, said Naruto as he turned to the three ninja lying on the ground before him. I don't see any village markings on them. Where could they be from? Asked Hinata. Don't worry, I'll find out. I may not be a Viki, but Hiro-sennin taught me a few things about interrogation, said Naruto, a mischievous and very fox-like grin appearing on his face. Chishima had arrived at Moso's home and was about to barge in when he heard the voice of Moso from inside. Hoki-sama, 3 of our numbers have been captured by the ninja from Konoha present in this country, announced a voice from inside the chamber where Moso was currently seated. Wondering where those voices were coming from, Chishima peered through a crack in the door. There was no one in the room until Chishima looked upwards towards the ceiling and noticed about a dozen or so ninja. Moso let out a low growl. In the event that the Konoha shinobi are able to gain the truth from those 3, our plans for this land will be ruined, said Moso. We are going to have to act quickly if we wish to take over this land. I wish it would have to come to this, but we're going to have to act tonight. We can frame Komiya for the murder of Sagi through this cursed warrior gimmick and I will be able to claim the throne of this land. Chishima let out a gasp at learning that Moso was actually the leader of a group of ninja and was planning a coup d'etat shortly. However, Chishima's gasp alerted the ninja present in the room and soon found him dodging a flurry of shuriken that came bursting through the thin wall. Unfortunately for Chishima, he wasn't able to dodge them all and a few struck him, resulting in some grievous injuries. As the ninja emerged from the house, they noticed that their little spy was long gone. However, he left behind a fresh trail of blood for them to follow. It didn't take long for the ninja to catch up with the injured Chishima, and in an attempt to eliminate their loose end, they unleashed more sharp weapons upon Chishima, who stepped back out of fear, only to slip off the bank and into a passing river, thankfully dodging the shuriken that were meant to end him. The ninja attempted to search for Chishima, but to no avail. And unfortunately for them, a search would only draw attention to them and they had a tactician to frame for the murder of a feudal lord later that night. Damn it! Swore Naruto as he emerged from room where he had interrogated the 3 captured ninja, Hanabi coming out a few seconds later followed by a small frog. For the past 20 minutes, screams of pain had been coming from inside Naruto's little interrogation chamber, and to say Hanabi was fascinated by a few of the interrogation techniques the blonde knew, well, despite being a student of Anko, she was surprised. Still, Naruto was nowhere near the levels of Anko or Ibiki in terms of interrogation, but he knew enough to get his captives to croak. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Asked Hinata. We need to find Chishima now. That Muzzy guy is actually named Hoki and is the leader of a band of ninja looking to take over this country, stated Naruto. With haste, the 4 Konoha ninja bolted out of the door of their house and towards the mansion of Moso, or Hoki, hoping to reach Chishima before anything bad happened. Chishima-san, shouted Hinata as she noticed a torn and bloody body crawling along the side of the river. Hi, Hinata-san, Naruto-san, groaned Chishima in obvious pain. Muzzy. We know. His little henchman told us of their plans to take over this country, said Naruto. Let's get him back to the house, said Hinata. Immediately upon arriving at the guest house, Chishima was laid down on a bed and Hinata began to treat his wounds, surprising most of the people there as her hands began to glow green. You know medical jutsu, Hinata-chan? Asked a surprised Naruto. I'm not an actual medic, but Sakura-san and Shizune-san taught me a few basics of medical jutsu. Seeing as I've got the chakra control and the fact that Tsunade-sama has actually wanted someone in the Hyuga clan to learn medical ninjutsu, there were no problems with teaching me so long as the clan elders don't find out. What's wrong with those old prunes finding out anyways? Asked Konohamaru. My clan's held up in their traditions, answered Hanabi. The elders see medical jutsu as a wasteful use of the Byakugan, despite all the potential uses it may have as a surgeon's tool. When it comes to what the Byakugan will be used for, the clan elders have more power than my father, who was more than willing to offer Tsunade a member or two from our clan to learn medical jutsu. What? That just sounds stupid. I mean, I'm no medical expert, but can't the Byakugan see inside a person's body? Asked Konohamaru, receiving a confirmation from Hanabi and Hinata. I must say I'm surprised, you and I actually agree on something for once, said Hanabi, shooting Konohamaru a small smile. Yeah, well, don't get used to it, replied Konohamaru. Oh, trust me, I won't, continued Hanabi. Nizin's the only one who can really do anything along the lines of learning medical jutsu without facing too many repercussions. Why is that? Asked Konohamaru. She can't be sealed, said Hanabi. She's the only one with a legitimate blood contract protecting her. If the elders even make a move to seal her, they will die as a result of the contract. What? Really? Gasped Konohamaru. Blood contracts are an incredibly difficult piece of fuinjutsu to make and bind the users to whatever agreement is on that contract, said Naruto. It's linked with the chakra of whoever signs it, and should one not hold up their end of the bargain, they will die. And those greedy pigs value their lives enough to keep them from sealing Nizan, said Hanabi. I on the other hand may be the heiress, but there's always that slim chance they could force the seal onto me if I do something that really pisses them off. Speaking of which, how much longer do you think, Hinata-chan? Asked Naruto, referring to a certain plan of Hiyashi's coming to fruition. Father estimates that he'll be ready by the end of the year, said Hinata as she finished up treatment on Chishima. I hope so, said Naruto. Konohamaru, please don't mention anything that was said in this room. And Hanabi, just to let you know, there's no way I'm letting those bastards stick that damned seal on you. Besides, even if they do, it won't stay on long. I can feel I'm getting close to a breakthrough on removing it, and even then that seal I used to rid Onko-sensei of that curse mark will work on the caged bird seal, just ask Neji. Neji Niazan? But he still has his seal, exclaimed a surprised Hanabi. Fake. And he's actually not a bad actor. He fooled the elders once already, grinned Naruto. Serves them right, exclaimed Konohamaru. And don't worry Hanabi, I'm with Naruto Niikan on this one. I won't let those bastards have their way with you. Hanabi felt a slight blush come to her face. Thanks, Kono. But you're still a baka. Everyone faulted at that. But you're a good baka, kind of like Naruto Niazan. Alright you two, interrupted Hinata. Prepare yourselves. We've got a daimyo to rescue before those ninja get to him. As Hanabi and Konohamaru went to prepare themselves for an impending battle, Hinata turned to Naruto. Naruto-kun, Sagi-sama. I know. My nose may not be as strong as Kiba's, but thanks to Kurama, my senses are more powerful than normal, said Naruto. It was faint, but I was able to smell it. Sagi's not Sagi. Cavern underneath the daimyo's residence. Nia-sama, a vengeful voice said as they opened a closet to reveal a set of old samurai armor, the same as that of the cursed warrior. Today I'll finally avenge you and father for the wrongs that were committed. As the armor and weapons of the warrior were pulled from its place of storage, the reflection of Lord Sagi gleamed in the steel. Only Sagi wasn't Sagi, nor was Sagi a man. Instead of the reflection of Sagi, the reflection of a female version of Sagi shone. It was not Sagi who had been driven to these lengths, and it was not Sagi who sought vengeance, rather it was Sagi's younger twin sister, Toki. He's not here, exclaimed Hinata as she scanned the daimyo's mansion with her Byakugan. Wait. Hinata's attention was diverted towards a system of tunnels that were directly underneath the mansion, and with haste, she led her team over towards a hidden entrance into one of the tunnels. It didn't take much longer before they came across what had caught Hinata's attention, an open closet with weapons and parts of armor that resembled those of the cursed warrior. So does this mean Sagi's the cursed warrior? Asked Naruto. Perhaps, said Hinata. We still need to find Sagi-sama before Moso does. Summoning jutsu. Both Hinata and Naruto shouted in unison. Yo, greeted Gamakichi. Since the last time Naruto had summoned Gamakichi, the toad had grown to be about the same size as Naruto in terms of height. Greetings, Hinata-sama, Boda-samu, one of Hinata's white tiger summons that had also grown quite a bit, making him about the same size as Akamaru. We need you guys to track down Sagi-sama, said Naruto. You got anything with his scent? Asked Gamakichi. Naruto pointed to the spare weapons and armor pieces, and Isamu and Gamakichi took a whiff. "I don't know about this Sagi-sama guy. This smell is inherently feminine." "I know, just follow it," ordered Naruto. "It's getting stronger this way," said Isamu as he led the Konoha shinobi down the tunnel and towards the location of Sagi Moso's mansion. Standing out on his porch, Moso looked up into the evening sky and grinned. In the distance, he could make out a faint figure floating through the air, the cursed warrior. "I thought I would have to go to you, but instead you come to me, Sagi. And even better as the cursed warrior. This way, I won't have to waste time trying to frame Komi. I may not lawfully be able to kill the daimyo, but the cursed warrior is a different story." Moso made a slight hand signal for his ninja to remain hidden in the bushes. Kaden, Great Fireball Jutsu. Moso exhaled a breath of fire at the incoming ghost, nicking the kite that the cursed warrior was attached to and also scorching parts of the armor. The ghost fell from the sky, crashing into a nearby tree and tumbling to the ground as some of the flames from Moso's previous attack spread to the mask. The ghost immediately was forced to rip off the mask, revealing himself to be Sagi, just as Moso had predicted. "You must have some nerve appearing here, cursed warrior," mused Mosoi. "You're not the priest, Moso. Who are you really?" asked Sagi. Moso went into a lengthy explanation about how he appeared before his father, Lord Owashi, as the holy man, Moso, and how he later assassinated Owashi after gaining the Lord's trust and favor. "Damn it. So it was you," growled Sagi. "And all I have to do now is kill you. Once that happens, I'll finally accomplish what I set out to do and can claim the throne to this land," declared Moso. "You bastard. I'll kill you and avenge my family," declared Sagi. With that declaration, Sagi charged at Moso, intent on running him through with his naginata. Moso simply jumped upward to dodge the thrust and landed on top of the blade, simply standing there like an egg balancing on a spoon. Sagi attempted to throw Moso off the tip of the naginata and Moso jumped backwards, landing gracefully on his feet. Out of anger, Sagi threw the naginata at Moso, who easily deflected the weapon with his fan and sent it flying back at Sagi, knocking the helm of his head, surprising Moso at who was really standing in front of him. "You're," gasped Moso. "Yeah, that's right. My name's Toki," declared Toki, the true identity of Sagi finally being revealed. "And I will avenge my father and brother's death." With that, Toki unsheathed her sword and charged at Moso. Moso dodged Toki's strike and quickly moved to disarm her, elbowing the girl in the abdomen and causing her to gasp as the air escaped her lungs. Moso grabbed the sword from Toki and prepared to slit the princess's throat, but found his blade blocked by another. "You!" growled Moso. "You're," gasped Toki. "Uzumaki Naruto at your service," grinned Naruto as he threw back Moso, away from Toki. "Lady Toki, I presume?" In a number of flashes, more shinobi appeared in the courtyard of Moso's mansion. Both Moso's forces and the remainder of Naruto's team had joined the fray. Watching from in the bushes, Chishima gasped at the revelation that Sagi was actually Toki before rushing out to Toki's side. "Chishima?" asked a surprised Toki, before regaining herself. "All of you go away. I'll be the one to take care of Moso and avenge my father and brother." "No," replied Naruto. "You can't allow vengeance to consume you like that. Your father and brother wouldn't have wanted that." "What are you saying? That I should just let Moso get away with it?" shouted Toki. "No. They need to be brought to justice, but if you let them allow to control you like that through vengeance, you won't end up any better than they are," said Naruto. "Believe me, I've had a few people who are close to me nearly succumb to that type of darkness." Naruto was referring to a number of people, most notably Kurama, who gave in to his anger long ago when Hikare was sealed away, becoming the demon most people see him as now. Had Naruto not have come, who knows what the giant fox would be like now. A few others who had managed to come back from that path included Sasuke, Koyuki, and Haruna, and as long as he was there, he wasn't going to let Toki go down that path. "Allow me to take care of Moso, or should I say Hoki?" questioned Naruto. Moso merely grinned before throwing off his robes to reveal his true identity. Instead of an elderly holy man, Naruto was now looking at a man around Kakashi's age with short hair and face paint below the eyes and above the eyebrows. "Please Toki-sama, remember how it was back in those days," said Chishima as he tried to sway Toki from her path of vengeance. "Continuing down your current path won't bring those days back. And I knew Sagi-sama well enough to know that he would never want you to live like this. Please, Toki-sama." Looking over at Toki, She was clearly in conflict with herself. She could not deny what Chishima was saying. "Will you just stop talking already? You've served your use as my servant," growled Hoki. Kaden, great fireball jutsu. Naruto simply watched as the fireball closed in on them as he made a single bird seal. Futon, great breakthrough. Naruto's jutsu was unsurprisingly much stronger than Hoki's despite the elemental disadvantage and quickly snuffed out Hoki's fireball. He had been practicing casting jutsus using fewer seals, and many of his simpler wind jutsu he could cast with just a single seal. He was currently working on getting them to the point where he could perform those wind jutsus seal-less, but considering he had been busy over the past month, he was making good progress on the mastering of his wind element. Once he was able to make it through his arsenal of wind jutsus with no more than one seal, he would be ready to attempt the Rasen Shuriken without Sage Mode. The gust powered through Hoki's defenses and sent him flying back into his house, crashing through the front door. "Naruto-kun, I'll take care of the remainder of the ninja, you deal with Hoki." "Hanabi, Konohamaru, guard Tokisama and Chishima-san," ordered Hinata. Konohamaru and Hanabi took a defensive position around Toki and Chishima while Hinata began to fight off the attacking ninja. Opting to utilize the Jushu stance, Hinata made quick work while dodging the enemy ninja's attacks and striking back before they even had a chance to retaliate. As Hinata threw one of her attackers away, a mass of what appeared to be sand rose up around her and attempted to encase her in it. "This is Garasama's jutsu," thought the surprised Hyuga. "Jushu, protection of the 8 trigrams." Hinata quickly set into her defensive jutsu, knocking away the sand before it could even become much of a concern as she now faced a rather large opponent that appeared to be able to control the sand. "I see you're a Hyuga. Your Juken won't work on me," claimed the man. Hinata simply shrugged the man's declaration off and dashed at the man, ducking underneath his punch and slamming her extended fingers into his stomach. The man had thought his defense, a body composed of stone, wood, had been enough to stop the strike, as he was aware that the Hyuga's Daijutsu damaged the body's soft tissues. However, the pain that shot through his stomach was telling him otherwise. "How?" grunted the man. "My Byakugan is telling me that your body is hard like stone. Typically, that would have prevented you from receiving the worst of the Juken's chakra burst, but unlike the Juken, my attacks cut through anything, including stone, with ease." To prove her point, blood began to seep out of the wound that Hinata's wind-enhanced chakra blast created just below his ribs. Hinata then slipped into her next stance, the Jushu-modified version of the Juken's 8 trigrams stance. "Jushu, 8 trigrams, 32 palms," exclaimed Hinata, striking the man with numerous wind-enhanced chakra strikes in the Tenketsu that would guarantee her opponent's inability to continue. She had chosen the lesser version of the attack as a means to simply immobilize him and prevent him from molding any more chakra. Had she have used the 64 palms, there was a good chance the man would have died, and the 128 palms was virtually a guaranteed kill. Along with the rest of these wandering ninja, this man would face his crimes at the hands of the people of the Land of Birds. While Hinata was busy fighting off some of the tougher opponents, Konohamaru and Hanabi were not denied any action, as the weaker of the ninja were left for them to deal with. Still, despite being Shinan, Konohamaru and Hanabi were handling themselves with relative ease against these opponents without Konohamaru simply rushing in there and making the situation worse. While the rest of Hoki's ninja were being dealt with, the leader managed to pick himself out of his door and face Naruto. He was already a little weary from that last hit. He had not expected a jutsu of that power to come from a Chunin ninja. He had commissioned a C-rank mission on purpose. Knowing that the highest-ranking ninja typically present on a C-rank mission was a Chunin, he felt confident in his ability to handle an average Chunin. However, the way in which Naruto was presenting himself and the aura of strength he was giving off, it was almost like he was staring down a high-ranking Jonin. "Suten, Water Dragon Jutsu," shouted Hoki as water erupted from an underground stream beneath his home and formed into a large water dragon. Again, the attack didn't faze Naruto as he prepared for his counter. "Futon, Wind Dragon Bullet," shouted Naruto as he exhaled a mighty gust of wind in the shape of a wind dragon's head. The two jutsus collided, and despite Hoki's just being the higher ranking of the two, Naruto's was much more powerful and tore through Hoki's dragon. Hoki growled, "I won't let you ruin my plans, you bastard." "You should have thought of that before you hired me for this mission," said Naruto as he quickly charged Hoki. The leader of the wandering ninja didn't even have time to react before Naruto was upon him and struck at him with his sword. Like with Hinata, he didn't kill Hoki, just injured him enough to remove him from the battle completely. It would be up to the people of the Land of Birds to decide Hoki's fate. As the blonde placed an immobilization seal on Hoki, he turned around to see the rest of his team finishing up with the remainder of Hoki's men, and Chishima and Toki breathed a sigh of relief that everything was over and was going to be alright. The following day, Naruto, Hinata, Hanabi, and Konohamaru watched from a distance as Toki revealed herself to the people of the Land of Birds, asking for forgiveness for deceiving them and a chance to usher in a new age for the country. While it said in some that Lord Sagi was no longer amongst them, many rejoiced that their beloved Lady Toki was still alive, especially Chishima. It was later that afternoon that the Konoha team departed for home. Late one night, Naruto, Hinata, Hanabi, and Konohamaru had set up camp for the night. Both Naruto and Hinata were sleeping peacefully in each other's arms, and Hanabi was currently on guard duty. Unfortunately for Konohamaru, his bladder woke him up and the young Sarutobi drugged himself away from the camp to relieve himself. After taking care of business, Konohamaru's attention was captured by the sound of splashing water nearby, and his curiosity got the better of him. As Konohamaru approached the source of his curiosity, he noticed a rather large waterfall through the bushes with the moonlight glistening off the mist. What really caught his attention though was what appeared to be a person standing on the surface of the water just beneath the waterfall. As Konohamaru tried to get a better look at who was there, he could tell that the person was a female, but all he could make out was her silhouette. "Who is that beautiful lady?" gasped Konohamaru. "I need to get a better look." Unfortunately for him, Konohamaru ended up tripping on the end of his scarf, sending him tumbling into the river. By the time Konohamaru popped out of the water, the girl from the waterfall was long gone. The following morning, Konohamaru appeared to have a bit of a cold. "Hey Konohamaru, are you alright?" asked Naruto. "Yeah. I'm Achu exclamation mark. Fine, sneezed Konohamaru. "You won't believe it, boss. Last night I saw this waterfall and there was this beautiful woman dancing around underneath it." "Really?" questioned Naruto quizzically. Oblivious to Konohamaru and Naruto, Hanabi began to blush a shade of red that rivaled even her sister. Konoha, a few days later. After arriving back in Konoha and reporting into Tsunade, the team was dismissed, and while Konohamaru and Hanabi went their separate ways, Hanabi still not able to look at Konohamaru without a slight blush coming to her face after the other night. Before Naruto and Hinata could leave the tower to go and hop Naruto's customary post-mission ramen, they were approached by Sakura and Ino. "Thank goodness I ran into the two of you," said a relieved Sakura. "Huh? What's going on, Sakura-chan?" asked Naruto. "So you know how Sasuke-kun's birthday is this Saturday?" asked Sakura. It took a moment for the thought to come to Naruto's head, but he nodded. "Well, we're all getting together to celebrate later that evening, and we're going to throw a big party to celebrate him turning 16 and becoming the official clan head of the Uchiha clan." "A party?" asked Naruto. "Yeah. Everyone's doing something to help out," said an anxious Sakura. "Hinata, I was wondering if you'd be able to help me and Dino out with booking one of the party rooms at Barbecue and helping us with the decorations?" "I'd be happy to, Sakura-san," replied Hinata. "What about me? Do you need me to do anything?" asked Naruto. "Yeah," groaned Sakura. "Yo, Naruto." Naruto turned around to see Kiba and Kuuji approaching. "Kiba? Kuuji? What's up?" asked Naruto. "Good thing we found you," cheered Kiba. "I see Sakura mentioned the party to you this weekend? Well, the three of us are in charge of drinks." Anyone who saw Sakura would immediately realize she was seriously regretting that decision to allow Kiba, Kuuji, and Naruto to be in charge of that part of the party. "Come on Hinata, we need to meet up with Ino and talk this over," said Sakura as she began to drag Hinata off towards the Yamanaka flower shop. "So what did you say, Naruto? Ready to make it a night Sasuke won't forget?" grinned Kiba. "Or rather one he won't remember?" A mischievous grin came to Naruto's face. "Oh, I have got just the stuff," he said. It would cost him another bottle of his Mount Myaboku fire sake, but it would most definitely be worth it. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.